Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new series that we're gonna be doing here where I'm gonna be taking my completely empty 7-foot by 14-foot V-nose trailer that you guys can see behind me here, and we're gonna be turning it into a full Pro National race spec rig that we're gonna be taking to all the Pro Nationals this season, which I am super excited about. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that normally I just do the moto van thing where we rip over to the Pro National on Friday for tech inspection, get a hotel Friday night, and then race Saturday and book it all the way home. And that definitely works well for some of the rounds and when you only have one rider, but this year we're gonna be doing stuff a little bit differently and we need a little bit more room, and obviously now we're gonna be running the mini motorhome and trailer setup, which is an absolute blessing. You guys would have seen it in the last race vlog that I did at Pleasure Valley. So super awesome that we have that resource now. So we've actually had this trailer for quite a while. Back during the amateur days, it was me and my brother going to races every weekend. And most of the amateur races, like even local races, are 2-day events. And then if you go to a regional, that's like a 3-day event. If you do practice on Friday, race Saturday, race Sunday. And then obviously when you make it to those actual nationals, like Loretta's is a week long, Minio's is almost a week long, so it definitely sucks to just be in a moto van for those events. You don't want to be going to the hotel every night for like 6 nights straight, so we would always run the motorhome and trailer setup. But for some reason, we just never did anything with our trailer. We would just leave it pretty bare bones. We would just throw some wheel chocks in there and a toolbox and our gear and stuff and run it, and it definitely wasn't ideal. So this year, definitely want to be upgrading that a little bit for the Pro Nationals. But yeah, when I first went pro, the motovan thing was working out really well because obviously I was in college, so I wasn't going to every single round. So for like the first 3 or 4 years that I was pro, I really only did Redbud, which is 2.5 hours, and High Point, which is like 4 hours. So I'd be able to drive over Friday morning for tech inspection on Friday, go to a hotel Friday night, race Saturday, and then make it all the way home Saturday night. And we wouldn't have to get another hotel, which was super nice to have the moto van for that application. But now, obviously, the last 2 years I've been doing almost the whole series. And for those races that are like 10+ hours away, like I'll just use Florida for example, it was like a 15-hour drive. We had to leave Thursday in order to make it to tech inspection on Friday. So we would have to do Thursday, get a hotel, tech inspection on Friday, get another hotel, race Saturday, start our drive home, and then obviously we wouldn't make it all the way home Saturday night, so we'd have to get another hotel and finish the drive up on Sunday, which really sucks having to go to a hotel 3 nights in a row. So now that we know we're gonna be doing the full season again, definitely the mini motorhome and trailer setup is the way to go. But as I said, this thing is completely empty. Let's just take a look inside and kind of see what we're working with here, all right? Okay, well as you guys can see, it is just completely empty in here. You can tell from the floor that we never had a flooring in here or anything. I don't remember why we never did anything in here. I want to say we got this trailer right before we were gonna leave for some big event. And so we just quickly put some wheel chocks in, threw some tools in here, and went to the event, and then we just never took the time to take everything back out and then do it right. So yeah, you can definitely tell just based on the floor that it was neglected a little bit. We had some oil spills, some gas spills in here. The thing is just a little bit crusty, to be honest. I mean, it's a really good base, as you guys can tell, but we could be doing a lot more with this space than is currently going on. Obviously, it's just completely empty. A little 7x14 V-nose trailer. We have a really good slate to do some cool stuff in here, and we definitely plan on making it really nice for the Pro Nationals so that we don't look like an absolute clown show when we show up. So we're not gonna be going too crazy. We're gonna be keeping it pretty modest, you know, we're gonna keep it kind of like my van, very open and functional. We don't wanna like close off and take up too much of the space with a bunch of stuff all over the place. So we're really just gonna be doing a pretty mild build. We're gonna build some shelves, build some cabinets, get some water tanks and a couple other things here and there, but I wanna take you guys along and show you exactly what we're doing in case you're looking for some ideas for your trailer and just to add some new content to the channel. So we'll go over the plan a little bit here and then we'll just get jumping right into it. So basically across the front we're gonna do what most people do and make like a hip-high shelf across the front and the V-nose there, put some cabinets underneath and like a rolling tool chest that'll go underneath it. Toolbox will sit on the top. We're gonna put a locker system over here and then the water tank is gonna sit on the ground, and I think we're gonna make like a bench that'll come out over the water tank. So you can pull the bench up, fill it from the top, and leave a little spout at the end for power washing and stuff. Plus it'll just be a nice little place for us to sit after we get done with a moto. We can prop a fan up in here and just cool down after a moto. The bikes will be over on this side. Risk Racing supplied us with some of their awesome lock and load systems that I have in my van, so that's gonna be huge. Obviously, we're gonna be putting in a nice rubber flooring down, so it's not gonna be just this crappy wood anymore that's all stained. It's gonna look much, much better. I think we're gonna be putting in some cabinets along the top for like helmets, gear bags, all that sort of thing. And then we're gonna build a little spot for gas cans and our easy ups. So like I said, not too crazy, and I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I was actually halfway through painting the walls when I realized I should be filming this whole process. So I have a before picture for you guys of what it looked like before with the wood walls. And we spent like the last 2 days just painting the walls. We put 1 coat of primer down and then like 3 coats of white paint. So it looks really, really nice in here now. It did look way crappier beforehand, having just the plywood walls. It looked really bad, and those were all stained up too. So although I say I gotta give credit where credit is due. Bridget and my mom really did like 90% of the painting in here. I was just roller man in charge of like rolling the big middles of these, but Bridget and my mom did all the really hard, laborious like trimming and stuff like that. So so big props to B Unit and Mama Walks. Thank you guys. But anyways, that's pretty much it, guys, at least for the plans. We got a nice solid base here. First things first, before we can build anything, we need to lay down the floor so that anything we build on top of it will kind of go over top of the floor and hold it down. I picked up some nice rubber flooring off of Amazon, so let's go take a look at that and cut it down to size. Holy cow. Well, here it is, guys. Sitting on my driveway, it really does not look as big as I was expecting, but this is a 7.5 by 17 foot long stretch of this like coin rubber flooring. I really like that coin look. I put the diamond plate pattern in my van, and I don't know, I just kind of like the texture of the coins better. So if you guys are looking for one of these, I'll link it. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like 200 bucks, so really not too bad. And the great part is I'm gonna be able to cover the entire floor of the trailer in just one big sheet, so there's not gonna be seams or anything. It's gonna be fantastic. However, that does obviously mean that it's gonna take a lot of precision cutting this thing. So the next thing we need to do is measure out exactly how wide the trailer is and cut it down to length. That's gonna be the really hard part, but it looks like they did a really nice job cutting this thing perfectly straight on the edges. As you can see, if you look at this coin right here, it's like cut at the same spot all the way down. The sheet that I got in my van was all like wavy down the side, so I had to cut both sides of it. This way, I'm just gonna have to measure in from the one side and just cut the one side of it down to length, which is gonna be super nice. So I actually really highly recommend this. I'll find the exact one that I bought and link it down below so you guys can get it if you need something. So it looks like we're looking at just a hair under 6 feet 8.5 inches. So we are gonna go chop this baby down and see how it fits in here. All right, we got our handy dandy silver Sharpie so we can mark it up on this black surface. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and flip this thing over so that we can mark up the back side of it. And because when we go to cut it, this obviously has texture on the top, but it's smooth on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and flip this thing over, mark it up, trim it down, and then go test fit it up and see how the width is in the trailer. Alrighty guys, so I went back, remeasured everything. It should be perfect. If anything, this is gonna be slightly wider than I actually need it to be, which obviously is on the safe side. We can always trim it down a little bit, but we can't actually add anything back. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead, cut this thing out and just hope that it fits perfectly. And then we'll start working on cutting out the front triangle so that it fits nice and snug up in there. We got a nice straight line. Peep those shoes, by the way. I know you're jealous. Anyways, we got a nice straight line here. You know I took some arts and crafts in school, so your boy's nice with the scissors. So we'll go ahead and cut this out. I do love to see that the line seems to follow this coin right at the edge of it perfectly all the way down. So I think the line is really nice and straight, and we're gonna get a nice finished product at the end of this. So let's go ahead, snip that baby all the way down. Yeehaw, scissors did the trick, no problem. It actually got a super clean edge, so I'm really stoked on that. If you guys are doing this, definitely recommend the scissors route. By the way, these are 100% S2 sunglasses if you guys are interested. I normally use them for like cycling, but they also work really well for arts and crafts of the large trailer size variety. So anyways, I know some people would ask, so yeah, 100% S2. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and roll this thing up, take it out to the trailer, and see how it looks in there. Let's go do it. This thing is a lot heavier than it looks. I did forget one thing though before I go unroll this in the trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep it out real quick just so it's not laying on top of anything. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. Woohoo! Man, I thought I was gonna have to do a little bit more trimming, but honestly, I could not have gotten this any more perfect. Look at that. Plenty of overhang under this metal strip so that I can pull this up and then secure it down on top of that. So really, really happy with that. And holy cow, it looks incredible. Ignore all this junk back here. This is all the stuff that I had to take out of it and I just kind of plopped it down. But anyways, holy cow, you guys, that is gonna absolutely transform this thing once it's all done. Like I said, fitment is absolutely money. Next thing up that we got to do, measure out how deep this piece is and how far in that is so that we can get these angles all good. Yeah, you know I also took geometry in school, so we're gonna do a little bit of SOHCAHTOA, you know what I'm saying? And we'll get this all cut out and fit up in there perfectly. The front doesn't really have to be perfect because we're gonna put a big shelf right here anyway, so the floor is gonna be completely covered. But I still want to get it close enough to the wall so that when I build the frame for the shelf, it'll sit on the rubber and keep it, you know, secured down so the rubber doesn't move around or anything. I really don't think it's going to move anyways because this thing is super heavy and there's going to be other stuff like obviously the Risk Racing lock and loads are going to be bolted to the ground and then there's going to be some other stuff in here. So I really don't think it's going to go anywhere. I want to keep the edges all nice and firm to the ground so that no dirt or water or anything gets under there onto the wood. But yeah, let's go ahead and measure that and cut this front piece out right here. All right, I'm thinking a little something like this looks pretty nice. We're gonna go ahead and snip and then push it on up in there, see how she fits. I'm not really sure how exactly to do this with one hand, but we'll give her a go. Oh my goodness. Alright, let me put you down real quick. Yo, I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty much money to me. My goodness, let's just take a step back and appreciate how sick that looks. Holy cow, you guys. This trailer quickly went from looking like a freaking abandoned shack in the middle of the woods to looking really dang nice really quick. So I'm super stoked on that. Next up, we just got to trim it down to size because as you guys can see, a little bit of it is hanging out the back there. So we got to trim that down. And then we also have to trim it at this little section that kind of comes in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, find the edge here and slice it off and then cut those little corners. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is about as perfect as we're gonna get right now. The tolerances on either side are honestly way tighter than I was even anticipating. A little strip of quarter round, like wood trim around all of it, is gonna cover up any little imperfections that we got, but honestly, it's such a tight fit that it honestly looks great even without the trim. So I'm stoked. Well, I think that's pretty much all I can do for the floor right now. As I said, I'm gonna put that 1/4 inch wood trim around the edges here, but I can't do that yet because I'm obviously gonna build a couple things that are gonna go right up against the wall. So if I put the 1/4 inch trim there, I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna build those benches and stuff. So I'd have to take the trim back out and then build it and then trim it to the edge of the cabinets and stuff. So can't do that stuff just yet. What I am gonna do is get a piece of like aluminum L-shaped strip and I'm gonna put it along the back, kind of go right here and secure it down to this piece of wood so that no dirt or water can get in under there and it'll just keep it down and it'll just look a little bit nicer. But what I will do real quick is kind of mock stuff up in here just to get sort of an idea of where I want everything to go so that I can plan out what materials, what wood, what metal I'm gonna need to build out everything, and just so I can show you guys and kind of get a feel for what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna go ahead, put the toolbox in here, put the water tank and some easy ups and stuff, and we'll get an idea of what it's gonna look like when it's all done. All right, here you guys go. You can kind of get an idea of what I'm going for here. Bikes will be over on the left. We've got two brand new Risk Racing lock and load systems. I freaking love these things. I know I showed them off a long time ago in my van, but essentially what you do, when you flick this up and press down on these, they pop up. You roll your bike into here so that the foot pegs are right under these teeth. Flick down on this and then you push it down and it cinches down on your foot pegs. Those are awesome. It allows you to get the bikes really close together, as you can see here. I could even move this plate a little bit further over like I did in my van to kind of overlap the pegs, but that should be perfect. Plenty of room for 2 bikes on this side, and that will allow us to fit the water tank over here. Plenty of room for the power washer and some stands to go behind the bikes. Right here, I think we're gonna put trash can right next to the door so that when we're working outside there, we can just reach in and throw stuff away. And then right here, I've got a big locker down in my basement. All my gear, my helmets, all that sort of thing in there, nice and safe. I wanna put some cabinets across the top up here, like maybe 2 or 3 cabinets that kind of pull out that you can put stuff in. I kind of want to build a little bench that comes out and kind of covers up the water tank because it is really ugly, and that would be a good place for us to sit. But the water tank is actually pretty high up, so even if I built a little bench across the top of it, I mean, I'm a tall dude and my legs aren't even at 90 degrees sitting on this thing. So I think it would be a little too high for like Bridget to sit on comfortably. So I don't really know if that's an option. Plus, we might switch over to some really tall, but not very deep or wide water tanks. They make 55-gallon tanks that are like 1 foot by 1 foot by 50 inches. So they're really tall and narrow, and that would really make good use of the space as opposed to this big thing. So I think I might just leave it as it is right now. It's gonna be a little bit ugly, but it's perfectly fine to sit on, as you guys can see. So after the motos, we can come in here and just chill out, turn the fan on and cool off and change into some regular street clothes in here. My big main goal is to get literally everything up off the floor that doesn't need to be there. So that's the big goal. That's what we're gonna be doing in the next episode. I'm not sure exactly how long this episode is gonna be. It feels like we didn't do a whole ton because all we did was put this flooring in here, but we talked a lot about what is gonna go on in here and just kind of mocking everything up and explaining why we're actually doing this in the first place. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. In the next one, we're gonna be jumping into the actual carpentry. I think the next thing up on the list is we're gonna be building the shelving unit and the little cabinets up here. So that should be a fun one. And then once we have everything else in place, we'll finally finish off the flooring with the quarter round and bolt these lock and loads down in place, and it's gonna be absolutely sick in here. So thank you guys very much for watching. Send me pictures on Instagram and stuff of your guys' race trailers or race trailers that you've seen that you really like, because I'm not like fully set on exactly what I wanna do yet. So I like to take inspiration from all you guys because you guys always have really good ideas. So definitely send me those pictures. Send me some ideas and advice because this is my first time doing this. So I'm sure I'm gonna make some mistakes along the way. Maybe you guys can give me some advice so that I don't make those mistakes and I can learn from you guys. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. Trailer is already looking really good. Super excited for the next one where we get to build that shelf, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.